I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Don't label us left or right. Our American. Not looking for a war, but we came to fight. Our American. Somebody's gotta stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We're rising 'cause we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours inside. I am American. That's what I am. It's what I think and what I do. I am American. That's what I am. And I bleed red, white, and blue.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of the Super Dave Show. Not sure if you really want to watch it, but we're going to do our best here. As many of you know, I don't normally do weekend shows, but I'll tell you what, after being in Washington, D.C. and taking a break, and that's what I've been doing, I had to come back. I'm watching, and there's a reason why I'm having this show, because people knew I was frustrated yesterday. I'm still frustrated, to be honest with you. Don't mind me for a few seconds here. I'm trying to make some final adjustments as I get caught up here. It's been a couple weeks since I've been on my regulars in my studio, and it makes a difference. It really does. But there's a lot more equipment to operate, so as I catch up, then we'll get it. I just want everybody to understand that, okay, if it starts flashing, I'll change. You know, it is flashing. Let me change. Hold on a second here. I'll change it real quick. I don't know why it's doing that, but we'll change that. All right. Let's give you one that it's not flashing. So, all right. We are waiting for everything to happen, and that's our problem. A lot of people are trying to understand why are you so frustrated, Dave? Why are you so frustrated? I went to a rally that had between 1 and 2 million people. And everybody's excited. We're going to change it. And then the liberals, who are working so hard, and I must say, love it or not, doing a splendid job. They are doing they're doing a great job. We have to. I give credit where it's due. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me try something else here. Let me see if it's working. I wanted to see if it's on my website, if the show is working. So let me just check this real quick and see if that works. If you go to superdaveshow.com, you can watch it on the net. I'm just seeing if it's working. If it is, I'll be a happy camper. Alrighty, it does work, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. So if you go to my website, if you don't watch on Facebook, I'll be up showing what's going on here. All right, where am I here? Let me catch up with where I am. So I get back, and we started Real Republicans, and the whole point of Real Republicans, I mean, we got 1-2 million people that show up in D.C. Yay, we're into it. Trump, please do something. Trump, please do something. And he's really very nice. You know why? Because he says we, but the only thing we do is show up for the rally, and then we go home and we don't do anything. Now, look, you're not going to like this show if you're sitting around making excuses. I'm sorry. You're not going to like it because you're expecting everyone else to do the work. And that's how I feel about it. You're expecting everyone else to do something while you sit back and say, well, somebody do this, well, somebody do that. Do you realize that our schools have been taken over by liberals? Do you realize that that so much of what's going on has been taken over by liberals? Now, how can it happen? It happens for one reason. Because all we've done is watch. That's what we've done. We watch. And it's really very frustrating. So, for me, it's like real Republicans, we're getting more and more members. I'm glad they're getting there. I'm glad they're joining up. But you know what we're doing? See, people are going to get upset now because they're going to go, well, don't be yelling at me. You know what? I really don't give a damn today. I really don't. I'm frustrated because all these people are here watching. And you're watching our country go down. You're not saying, what can I do to help? Not a person. I've asked people to run for office, the whole thing. And out of all our members and other people, I've asked people, please let me know. If you're running for office, you put your name on the bottom line, just all the different places to start. And basically, I get back from Florida, and I'm watching this the whole time, and I didn't want to say anything while I was gone. But I'm watching this, I'm like, well, apparently, it's real important to you because people are doing nothing. They're sitting around saying, please save me, please save me. And the liberals are working overtime. I'm going to show you how hard they're working. And every person watching this needs to be embarrassed if you're not doing what you can. Now, look, bear with me a little bit here because, you may not like what I'm saying here, but it is true. But I want to show you a few things here of why so much. You may be mad about what happened, in D.C. The media did this, the media do that. When we have protests, people don't show. When and we have a group in Jefferson County does, but, it's for protests. But we need people to protest when you run for office. That's how you change it. You're expecting people, the very people who are responsible for these decisions, the hypocrite Republicans, the liberals, you're expecting them to change their colors? Really? Help me out here. Help me out. I'm going to play something here, and I'm going to show you how hard they're working. And you may not like it. In fact, I'm betting you don't. I'm betting you don't. But let me see if I can get a full. Not sure how we do this here. I don't want picture-in-picture. I want. I'm looking at Rumble here. I'm not.
If you
read
the mainstream press,
tell you, I'm just going to have to play this and do our best with it. I wish they had a. Do they have a full screen on Rumble here? I'm just trying. I haven't done Rumble yet, but this is on Rumble. These are, and I'm bringing this up for a reason. These are people who are working hard to defeat us. No sound. You're not getting any sound right now?
Also are often saying call it a coup. It's a coup.
No, you're getting. Wait, I haven't played anything yet. If that's what you're talking about, but are people getting sound right now?
The president, but when it comes to these bureaucrats,
I see where there's an issue. But
so the bottom line,
yeah, it's kind of stuck there. Let me get back here and see what's going on. What the heck?
And as federal workers have power.
This could be
masses of people engage in non-cooperation. No ruler can
let me explain. This could very well be what's going on. Let me check one other place here.
Have unparalleled familiarity with the
let me just see where we are here.
They know how to speed things up.
Now I'm starting to understand.
They have access to critical information about policy.
Yeah, Windsor has two good candidates.
They can participate in an
but there are other positions. I mean, my point is that, yeah, we have Windsor, but we have all these other schools. So is everybody seeing this okay? Look, they deleted my last show, so we may have to. Now people can't intermittent sound.
Deciding what to do.
Yeah, I see the CPU is going nuts. I'm trying to figure out why. OBS Studio is using a lot here, so I'm not really sure why.
On your preparation.
Let me
frankly, where you sit.
Let me get rid of a couple things here. Maybe that will help. I know what will help right now. Okay, I think that might take care of it there. Yeah, I had to eliminate something here. Yeah, that'll take care of it. All right. Thank you for helping me. I appreciate it. No, I had to get rid of something, and that's why. So, is that better? Is that better, everybody? I want to give you some reasons why. Good morning. I want to give you some reasons why we are allowing when we don't. Now, right now, we're not talking about people running for state representative, and those positions aren't available till next year. But right now, there's all kinds of positions available. I think it's much better now. But I want to tell you, this is what a politician does. Okay? What does a protest accomplish? It makes a lot of people feel, well, no. A rally is the biggest thing. A protest does accomplish things. Charles, a protest, look, we went to Jefferson County and we protested, and they can't get squat pushed because we're so damn hard on them. Oh, they got a mask order, but it means nothing. That's what a protest can do. Is it better now, though? I got rid of something. I think it's going to be a lot better now. I got rid of something that was the problem. So please understand, we have a problem. Now, I want to read this to you. Okay, good. I want to read this to you. This here, I want to show this to you, okay? This is our local paper, and it's a leader. And this is the headline. Can everybody... It's going to get better. It's going to get better. This is the headline. Yeah, I fixed the problem, so I found out I had something open. All right, I'll wait until you guys really tell me everything is better now, because I shouldn't have had that open, and it was. Is it better now? You let me know, and then I'll continue here, because this is important. This is what you get with phony-ass politicians who are out there to get your vote. And I'm telling you, the people just eat this stuff up. This is called political science. I teach political science on this show. Give me a second. I don't think I'll have to start over, because I eliminated something, and I think it's much better now. I'm looking at the controls here, and I think it's much better. So give it a second, and hopefully it'll work better. All right, better. Okay, I figured it was. All right. You ready for this? I'm going to read this to you because you guys better understand this. This is what politicians do. A state legislator, this is in Missouri, in my area. A state legislator has proposed naming the section of I-55 that runs through Arnold in honor of President Donald J. Trump. Okay? Wow! And all the Trump supporters go, yeah, she's our gal. That's how easy it is. State Representative Mary Elizabeth Coleman said she will file a bill in the upcoming session of the General Assembly to do that. Now, what the hell is that going to do to better our lives? It's going to make us feel better? Have we become a bunch of liberals where emotions, oh God, she loves it. Don't even go there. Missouri has and I'm going to read this because this is so important. Missouri has a tradition of naming its highways and roadways for notable people. There's a section of highway named for President Barack Obama, by the way, who this person voted for. She voted for Barack Obama. She doesn't tell you this. But now, since it's popular that she runs as a Republican in our county, because that's the only way she's going to get elected, now she turns around and says, oh, let's name the highway after President Trump. Why not? Trump supporters are easy. They don't do anything. Look, I'm not being rude here. But they don't do it. They're going to vote for me because I made them feel good. If this makes you feel good, then go to what she votes for. She votes for mail-in voting. She votes for all kinds of things that liberals want to vote for. But it doesn't tell you that. It's about getting elected. See, it's about getting elected. So, there's a section of the highway named for President Barack Obama in the city of St. Louis. Jefferson County loves Trump if they like what he's done during his time in office. She said that's based on November election. Okay? I'm reading this to you because it's important. This is what happens with politicians, okay? And just so you know, there's a picture of a Mary Elizabeth Coleman. Coleman said the section of I-55 through Arnold was chosen because there's a main stretch through her district that has not been dedicated. And right now, she wants to run for auditor next year. So all she has to do is fool the voters who are easily fooled, who are easily played, who don't understand. They don't understand that these people do this for feel good. Oh, God, it feels so good. She loves President Trump. Oh, my. Really? No, she loves the voters. Not the voters, what they want. She loves what's going to make them vote for her. And I guarantee you, this is going to help her because people are going to go, wow, look at what she's done. Coleman said rather than allowing a passage of time before naming a stretch of interstate after Trump, which is the practice of those inducted into Sports Hall of Fame, now is the perfect time, Nick. Why now, I'd ask. I'm going to answer that for her. Now is because she's setting it up. She's setting it up. I'll get to what you're saying in a second here, Candace. She's setting it up because she wants to run for office. Stop believing this bullshit. Go to their voting record like Jim Neely told me one time. He says, you want to know what I did? Go to my voting record. It was told to me by a very smart man that the problem with politics is exactly the appearance of doing something and doing nothing. She didn't personally help with our mask mandate last time. She told us what we should do, and then she said basically leave her name out of it because she was too busy with something in St. Louis County. What she does, this is what she's doing. This is what politicians do. They go out there and make themselves look popular. Well, I joined the group of attorneys to change to stop the mask mandate for these people and the shutdowns of these restaurants in St. Louis County. And people go, wow, wow, wow. That's what she's done. So she joined that. Oh, my favorite one is people thought she was responsible when the only ones that were responsible in Jefferson County, and I'm trying to explain this to you folks, she tried to make it appear like she was responsible for no mask mandate in Jefferson County. She never showed up at anything, never said a word, and the day after they passed a mask mandate, which was illegal, it was blown out of the water before it started, she put her name out there and says, I was getting ready to prepare a lawsuit, never did it, did nothing, but put her name out there, and people go, oh my God. Oh my God. This is politics 101. This is what they do. It's feel-good crap. This is why the establishment hates me. This is why phony-ass politicians hate me. Because I'm going to call them out. I don't care. If you want the feel-good stuff, vote for her. You don't know anything else she's voting for. She's voting a lot on the liberal side, but she's going to name the highway after Trump. That's her bill. And you know what? In the legislature, they're going to go, yes, because Trump is our guy. Because guess what? People are going to determine. They're going to determine the votes of the representatives by the fact that they're going to vote for a small section. This is the stupidity and the bullshit they come out with, but it makes us feel good. It doesn't make me feel good. I couldn't give a damn. Leave the name, the highway that way, because guess what it does? It costs you money. What do you mean it costs money? Yes, they got to make the signs. You got to pay for the signs. They got to have people go out and install them. Oh, yes, let's go ahead and spend all this money to make a part of it so Republicans feel good. Republicans, look, if this really is that important to you, forget it. Yes, exactly. They don't even look at the voting records, Keith. Look, Keith and I had a great conversation the other day, but I got to tell you something. Keith is one of the main people in Real Republicans. And I go to D.C., I come back, and three people out of all the members, out of all the people there, out of everybody that's listening, 3 people step up to the plate and put their name on it, and one of them is Keith, and I didn't add mine in yet. And I didn't for a reason. There's so many things to do, but I don't have time. My God, I just rather bitch and moan. I'd rather go and cry about it and say, I can't believe they're doing this. What do you mean? They are doing it. You know something? When I don't do my job, I blame me. If I don't show up, if I don't get involved, I blame me. I have named, and look, you may not like this, I have named the Republican Party the party of complainers. That's exactly what they're doing. And that's what happens. Instead of, I'll go back to the Kennedy. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Okay, it's been brought up to me. It's like, well, I'm not qualified. Let's talk about qualifications real quick. How qualified is Maxine Waters to be a congresswoman? How qualified is an attorney that likes the publicity? How qualified is she? How qualified? Oh, well, she's an attorney. Well, my God, we all love attorneys, don't we? We love them. Attorneys are wonderful. These people don't like what I say. Now, a lot of people are supporters of mine, and I appreciate that. But if you're a supporter of mine, if you live in Missouri, you should be. You have until Tuesday to put your name out there. I will gladly give you huge kudos. But if you're not, and look, I've heard from people, and I'm not going to name anybody. People have to live with themselves. But I've heard, well, I can't do it. I won't do it. It's really, I won't do it. Because when I hear somebody say, well, I'm busy, I'm glad I'm not busy. I don't have anything going on in my life. I have nothing. I really don't. I own a business. I do a radio show, I do a show. It's a video show, I guess we'll call it. I do a lot of things. I go places. I do things. I attend other meetings. I do a lot of stuff. I don't have time. I really don't have the time. But I make the time. I can't tell you. I have friends that are doing it. They have children, but they're out there doing it. I want to brag on my son. He's got 2 wonderful kids, my grandkids. He's head of the Pachyderm Club. He's doing things. He runs for office. He also has a job and works a lot of hours in his job. He's not taken away from his family because he spends all his time doing what he can, and that's just it. And you know why? Because I taught him to be responsible. I taught him that you have to, if you sit back, I posted something this morning. I'm quite proud of it. And I'm going to read it to you if you haven't seen it. Remember, everyone, we give our power away because of our inaction. We give it away. Liberals and hypocrites gladly thank you. The liberals, they are so pleased when they go run for school board and they're the only ones on the ballot. They're laughing at us. They're more concerned about their name being on a but their hero's name being on a highway. And believe me, I'm a Trump supporter more than most people on the planet. But I don't expect our president to do it alone. Shouldn't a state auditor be required to hold a CPA? No. It does. No. You know what? Let me tell you something. I could be a state auditor. You know why? Because the auditors generally don't do the work. The auditors don't do the work. They have auditors under them. You are managing an office. Okay, here's the misconception about all this stuff. Let's talk about school boards. Well, I don't have any kids in school, so I'm not qualified. Really? You never had kids? You don't have grandkids there? Does that really make a difference? When you get your tax bill and your taxes keep going up because the school boards keep putting these stupid bond issues out there that you keep falling for, You're a paying customer, and you don't think you are qualified? Are you telling me that a teacher, an ex-teacher who is a huge liberal, who's going to take over saying, hey, Joe and Jane and rest of you, Sandy, so thankful for you not doing anything because I'm going to go back on the school board. I'm going to help my friends. I'm going to help them make more money. I'm going to help them get more pension. I'm going to help them push liberal causes. I'm going to help all that stuff. Yes, thank you so much for not getting involved because you make our job easy. Yes, call-in number's right there, Dino. 636-344-0003. And I had to turn my volume back up so I hear it. So it's up, and if somebody calls in, they're welcome to call in. But is that making sense, my friends? We really and truly are not going to change anything until we do something. And I know a lot of people, they get mad at me. And you have to understand something about my personality. I really don't give a damn when people get mad at me when I know I'm doing the right thing, I'm saying the right thing. Because I know sometimes, people sometimes go, well, Dave, why don't you do it the nice way? You know what? In the last 10 days, when I was gone, I did it the nice way. We put it out there, and virtually no one puts their name on the bottom line. But well, excuses come out left and right, and then people get mad at me because I call them on it. But you know something? I now know why. I've known it for a while. The reason talk show hosts don't do what I do is because people get mad at them. They stop listening. I really don't give a damn if you listen. Because if you don't want to hear the truth, I start out my show. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. And I am never going to change what I tell you. I'm not going to do it. School board, Dino, you're wrong. School boards have a lot to do with it. You're not helping me. You're not helping. When you get on the school boards, you're missing the whole point. Please don't do that because I'm trying to get people involved and you're saying it's a joke. It's not a joke because here's what happens. You're not looking at the big picture. Because when you see what's going on in the school boards, you go, whoa, wait a minute, this is wrong. We can't do this. And they have a lot of things go through. What? So they're a joke? Do you think they're a joke when they put together a bond issue, replacing a bond issue that's already there? It's going to mature. That's not. I'm sorry, Dino. I love you to death, man, but that's not what I want to hear. Because they aren't a joke. Every position is important. And then once you're in there, you're going, wow. We can't do as much but we still have some power, but we don't have as much. And then all of a sudden, you go ahead and you start pounding it and say, we got to go after other people. So, there's something I know. If you don't look for the big picture, then you're never going to get where you need to be. Because a lot of people go on school boards and they find out that okay, do you really think this is what school boards do? This is where you're not thinking. School boards say, we get to spend the money here. So let's go ahead. And you know what? That football field is only grass. Now, do you know, and they don't even have a big replay board. Now, over at our opposing schools, they have a big replay board. They got a beautiful turf field. They got brand new uniforms. I mean, all these important things that make that school important. You think that's a joke? Are you going to be one of those people that says, oh, yes, let's do that. And then what we'll do, we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and put the turf fields in, the boards, and we'll do all that stuff. But here's the problem. Then you don't have any money left to paint the walls. They do that on purpose. They do it on purpose. They purposely don't do things, so they come to you when the bonds mature and they say, well, the bonds are up this April, so we need to replace that, and we'll go ahead and sell you a bullshit. Well, that's why you got to be careful what you say. It doesn't matter. They help in every way because it has everything to. Your state doesn't spend that money on the fields and the rest of its stuff. Your school boards do. So, that's why, I don't make my job harder than it is because, otherwise what you tell people, and this is why you be careful, the school board controls the salaries and makes, exactly right. In our county, we don't even have the largest population for Fox School District. They were paying this woman. They just thought they should. The previous administrator, the couple, Crutchlow, $250,000 a year. Yes. What a prime example. Candace, you're familiar with this, aren't you? The first time I was living in Springfield. I came up here. I went to a school board meeting. By the way, I didn't have kids in school. Oh, no. What are you doing at a school board meeting? Because that's my tax money. Paying her $250,000 a year. When I first saw her, I really thought she was a hooker. I was like, who's that gal? Oh, well, that's the school board superintendent. Wow, that's a great thing. I don't want to necessarily want to dress like an old woman, who's ready to start yarning, or knitting. But at the same rate, I don't want her to look like somebody that just got off the street corner. I'm dead serious. And those people that know who I'm talking about, you know it. If we had a board with balls, the Critchell situation, they never were overseeing. I know somebody was on this school board. He told me, he says, well, we got to keep up with the other ones. Excuse me? You have to keep up with spending. You call yourself a conservative, and you got to keep up with spending our money? You got to make sure that we pay as much for someone. You're not paying attention to what her credit cards. She was using her credit card, ladies and gentlemen, to buy personal stuff. And the school board that was getting well, you had 1 week. I guess he's a Republican establishment, and he was saying, "Yeah, that's what we do." My favorite thing with that school board, by the way, is the fact that I remember him telling me this. He said, "Well, we all vote together, even though we don't mean it, because we want to go out like we're united." Excuse me. So if you're gonna up if you're gonna up their salary. If you're going to up the salary, well, that isn't how it always happens. But anyway, if you up the salary, and he says, well, I was against it, but in the end vote, I voted for it because we want to look together. So you don't mind saying we were 4-3, and I was the 3? Oh, no, we were all together. This is typical, by the way. This happens on a lot of school boards. Exactly right, Keith. Okay, so we have people that say, in fact, I talked to somebody yesterday. They said, well, I don't have time to campaign. It is, in real Republicans, let me tell you right now, I'm not a nice guy when it comes to people sitting by, and all they're going to do is this is what Republicans have come to. We send each other neat things. Oh, I like your neat thing. Hey, let me show you my neat thing. Oh, I have neat. Oh my God, that's a cool neat thing. I got one. I'm gonna find it. So I'll show you mine. In the meantime, while you're sending all the neat things, the liberals are working against you. And if I can get this going here, I really want to get this. I really want to. If I can get this going, where is it here? Oh, I got to bring it back up here. They're not good. It's on Rumble, but I at least want to play it. I actually want to show you let me bring this up here real quick. I actually want to show this to you. Oh, yeah, extravagant chicks with trips with district money, all that. She did all this stuff. Gave her kids scholarships instead of letting other kids have them. She used district money to buy items for person. Hey, but don't worry about it. Sit on the side and complain. Guess what? When they finally found out what she was doing, Candace, you know what's going on here. All of a sudden, there wasn't enough room in the auditorium. The people were pissed. They were pissed. And so next thing you know, she's gone. Fast forward. After she's gone, you have the next school board meeting, and you're back to 2 people, 3 people. showing up. People only get mad after the fact. People only got mad when Trump was getting screwed royally, when we were getting screwed royally. Only got mad after. But, well, let me see. Who did we elect? You know, in my district, Ann Wagner didn't vote to support the president. Oh, she didn't vote to impeach him. Oh, well. That was a vote for, so she can, in the next election, say, I didn't vote to impeach him. That's what it is. I'm going to play this Zoom call, do my best with it. And like I said, I wish there was a way I can expand it, but I'm at least going to play it, so you're just going to have to deal with it. So make sure I don't have anything else here I got to be concerned about. But I want to play this because this is so important. These are people, these are your opponents, ladies and gentlemen. These are your opponents. And guess what? They're working really hard. So let me get this set up here real quick. All right, let me get this set up. And if it'll expand, I will. Otherwise, please listen. Oh.
Frankly, where you sit in the federal bureaucracy. And we're talking about the range of different tactics. We talk about acts of commission and acts of omission. And another act of commission, albeit highly, risky, and there are a number of great downsides, is leaking. So leaking information about pending or actual policies with journalists, with activists, influential people on the outside. So another act of commission is creating parallel structures or self-organizing units. So organizing in the office place, in the workplace.
As an attorney in the federal government, I am finding the chat suggestions very interesting, and I just do want to remind people that we lose our status as federal employees if we strike.
And there's been a little conversation going on here, for example, about Black Lives Matter and how that is an example of a nonpartisan political statement. I guess that's been previously litigated, but whether or not you do a misdemeanor or an infraction on federal property or on public property really doesn't affect most of the jobs that you would be considered for, just as a sideline note.
As an attorney,
let me explain to you. These are people who work for the government who are working together to scam against you. We're paying these people. But they're all working hard. That's my whole point. When we all work together, things get done. And we just sit there and go, well, that shouldn't be. Why aren't we doing it? Why aren't we doing it? Anyway, I'll continue a little bit more, and then I'll get back to the show.
I think we're highly, that's one of the things we have to be careful about.
I would just say this is also the importance of being in communication with and in touch with groups, civic groups, grassroots groups that are preparing people for the possibility that red lines may be crossed, that the election goes sideways, so everything from choose democracy to hold the line, to shut down, we count on us. I listed a few of those in the slides earlier, but they're the ones who are really in the vanguard of helping people think about, interpret red lines, and think about different actions that can be taken well beyond kind of street protests and demonstrations, but kind of sustained organizing and action.
What does it look like in practical terms to put, to slow the gears down in some ways or another?
At the Department of Labor, it takes the form of several rounds of the cost-benefit analysis for a new regulation, and when...
Okay, I want to get back to this. This is just to show you, these are people, they are communists, and they're working together. And we're allowing them to work together. And what are we doing? We're naming highways. Yes, the people that say they represent us are naming highways, and we're allowing them to make all the deal. Every time I comment, it kicks me. There. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Keith. That's weird. Well, you can comment now. Maybe it's because of that. I don't know. And I want to tell everybody else too that eventually we're going to get kicked off. Eventually, I'm going to get kicked off, and I'm working on different venues to where we can go ahead and you can get the show in case I'm on Facebook. They actually deleted my last show, so that's where we are. They're going to do this. Now I know a lot of us are waiting for other things to happen, and that's great. But here's the problem: dragging our feet. We're going, well, Trump's going to save us today or tomorrow, the next day. You know what? If I'm drowning in a pool and I'm not even trying to swim, I deserve to drown if I won't even try to do something. That's the point. And every person watching us right now, look, I don't like to look backwards. I like to look at the present and the future, because I think most of us have been here. Most of us have said, I don't know what to do, whatever. If you really believe you are unqualified, you are usually just making an excuse for yourself. To be on a school board, if you are breathing and you have any common sense at all, and you are a registered voter, get off of it and do it. Well, thank you. And thank you very much, Candace. That's what we have to do. But when we just sit back, it's like, I can't believe it. Yeah, I can't believe what that Republican did. We don't have it. We are almost to the point where we can start, real Republicans. We can start having people put their money where their mouth is. But we have to do more. We've got plenty of time for the state representative, and I'm not giving excuses now. Right now, it's a great place to get started. School board. There's other ones here. Maybe I should bring that up just to show you our website. Here, let's go here. I'm going to show you our website. This is what, and I'm working. Look, I'm not a website guy. This is what I've done. I've noticed on the phones it's horrible. So I have to learn how to do that. I'm learning how to do things. See, while I have all this time, while you guys are passing crap back and forth, and I'm telling you right now, on Messenger, it drives me crazy when I get all these people, and I look at it differently. I really do. People send me all the cool stuff. Look what I found. Look what I found. Look what I found. You have to listen to this. You know what? I'll tell you what I should do. I'm going to stop everything I'm doing, and I'm going to spend my time on Messenger or Facebook or whatever, and I'm going to look at all the videos. I actually get criticized. You didn't look at that video? Yeah, in my spare time. Yes, in my spare time. Do I look disgusted today? I hope I do, because I am. I mean, I get these videos. I get these comments from people, all this stuff. This is going to happen. I want to know what the hell you're doing instead of doing that. People don't like this. I don't like it. Somebody tell me, and I'm serious about this. Somebody tell me, would you rather go ahead, and I know this is what's going to happen. People are going to go, he's bitchy. He's complaining. No, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated because I don't see the people on my side. We get this crap with a state representative who says they're going to go ahead and name a highway, and I guarantee you that's going to get her vote. I can't wait until she's the auditor, because people are going to go, well, she was the sponsor of the bill to rename part of the highway, or name part of the highway the Trump Highway or whatever. You know what's going to cause? Let's look at the long term here. What's it going to cause? It's going to cause one thing. It's going to cause people, liberals, to drive down the highway and throw garbage out there. They're going to throw garbage here. But they should never do that. Wow. You voted for it. Is it really that important that we name part of the highway after Trump? Yes, Democrats are far better at organizing an action than Republicans. And it frustrates me to no end. I wish people would say, all right, Dave, what can I do? What can I do? But I don't get that. Let me see. Let me go back to something here. I posted this yesterday. What do I do with thanks for what all you do? What do I do with that? Appreciate it? You know what I think of when people tell me this? And look, I appreciate you telling me that. Don't get me wrong. But you know what I think of? In most cases, the people that tell me that are the ones that aren't doing anything. They just like to play. Gee whiz, I can't wait to have a war with you. You could sit in the back and tell me how to do my job. You could sit in the back and tell me what ammunition. You could sit in the back and tell me. But you know what? Unless you're on the front with me, you're not squat. The liberals are showing us up. The Democrats are showing us up, and you are letting them. Yes, this is a spanking, and you don't love it, and I get it. You know what? You know what the worst part of this is? This is the part I hate the most. I would rather be spending my time saying, wow, what a great response. We got all these positions open, and 75% are filled. 75% are putting their name out there, they're running for it, and that's it. But no, I'm going to get, and people won't watch this show. I know they won't. But the people are going to send me something, and they're going to say, hey, watch this, watch that. I'm to a point I don't watch them anymore. I don't even bother. Because all I can think of is I'm not going to waste my time on every little video because you want me to watch it. I want you to act. I want you to do more than just pass things along. Now, you see what's happening here? I'm watching the numbers of people watching the show right now. And this is what happens. So here's my question. What happens when I quit? Who's going to do what I do? We lose. I can tell you right now, I know other people that have dropped out. Just said I'm done. There's so many other things I could be doing right now. I could have stayed in Florida. We could have enjoyed a few more days, not, stay down south a little farther than we were. But, Naples was warm, and you have to go a little bit more south than that to some extent. I could have done that. But I wanted to get back. I had to get back because I wanted to make sure that we had all these people running. I couldn't wait to see how many people volunteered. I did my best not to pay attention. And then when I found out how few are, it's like, what's the point? Maybe, you tell me, should I quit what I'm doing? Really, should I quit what I'm doing? And people are like, oh, that's stupid. No, it isn't stupid. I refuse. It's like a friend of mine told me one time. It's like being a mouse on on the wheel, and you keep doing it, doing it, and nothing happens. You keep going around and around, and that's what I feel like sometimes. Look, this is not pity for me. I really don't give a damn about that. What I give a damn is about our country. What I give a damn is about the president. You people are telling me you care about the president. But the most you can, I'm so happy that so many people showed up. But what are we doing after we get back home? My friend Paul Kurtman, who I had on the show a couple weeks ago, state representative, he said, yes, we go out and we give all these great rallies. And then the people go home and they're done. And then they expect the very, very few to do something. Keith, who's watching right now, my good buddy, said that he had never run for office before. He says, you know what, you're right. You are right. It was so good. The feeling I got when I walked out of that office felt so, hey, I'm on the ballot. I am contributing. And now he's done other stuff, so don't think this is the first time he hasn't done anything. He's run the Republican Club and other things, but he put his name on the ballot and made him feel great. What a great feeling to think I am part of the solution. Because the problem is doing nothing. That's the problem. Albert Einstein, the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. That's Albert Einstein. One more time. The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. That's what happens. Well, some good news. We have 3 of us running for health board in Perry County. We win. I will say one thing, Keith. The people in the rural areas, he's in Perry County, not a lot of people there. The people in the rural areas are more apt to help, to be supportive of their people in that area, still not enough, than the people in our area. Oh, yeah. The reason Ann Wagner's there forever is because nobody else runs. Now, granted, under the that's why we're trying to change with Real Republicans. We're trying to make it where it's a group effort. We're trying to make it to where, and I, you know what? To be honest, I can understand why some people are watching this and going, Dave, there's nobody else wanting to help. Nobody else wants help. All they want to do is just what you said. I can understand. And then when you do run, all they can do is bitch and moan about what you're doing. That's about right. But our job in Real Republicans is to teach people not to worry about that. You go into it. Though, you know what? This is really going to upset some people. I have more respect for liberals. Respect doesn't mean I appreciate what they come up with. I have more respect for liberals who get involved and do things than I do conservatives. Now, I know some of you people don't like that. My job on this show is not to be loved, and I do it really well. I have a lot of enemies, but the enemies I have are the same ones that you have. But a lot of you people are you're not my enemies. You make yourself enemies. I mean, you do. I mean, look, not everybody can do something. I get it. But when people spend their time, making excuses, then it really, for me, is extremely bothersome. It just is. I appreciate so many of the people out there who are really trying. But unfortunately, you see, I've said this, and we get the negativity. It's liberals are so happy to see the non-involvement. No need to worry, because when we are not at the table, they will make all the decisions for us. Don't you just love it when you have a liberal making your decision? Don't you love it when you have a hypocrite Republican making the decision for you? And what do you do about it? This is why, honest to God, the deep, hard-nosed people like me listen to the show, get involved, and they do things. But so many of the other people say, I don't need to hear this crap. I can go and I can play on Facebook some more. I can trade my stories. Wow. I'm a patriot. I have a flag. I'm done. I'm a patriot. I vote every election. I don't know who in the hell they are. I haven't done any research. I go to the vote. I go to the polls, and I go, I've never heard of that guy. I didn't know they were running. Who are they? Well, I don't know. I'm already here, so I'll vote for the same as usual. That's what I'll do. Happens all the time. Nothing better than showing up stupid. And don't think you don't, because I've been there. I've been at the polls. If you show up at the polls, and I will help you, but honest to God, I'm embarrassed for you. If you show up at the polls and you haven't done your research, and you ask me who you should vote for, you really have a lot to learn. You really have a long ways to go, and you should be embarrassed. I'm glad you're asking. Why did you wait until you got ready to walk in the polls? What if I'm not there? Then you go in there. Where's my blindfold? Let me see. Long as they're Republican. Let me see. Let's talk about the 10 Republicans that voted to impeach the president. Let's talk about the ones, we could talk both of them. I'm going to talk about both of them. We could talk about the 10 who voted to impeach the president. You know what I give them credit for? At least they're being honest about it. I don't like what they did. I'm being honest about it. You know ones you need to be nervous about? You need to be nervous about the ones that didn't vote because they know they need your vote in the next election. So they're going to come to you and they're going to say, hey, I didn't vote to impeach the president. Well, you're okay then. I didn't support him, but I didn't vote because I know you're stupid enough to vote for me again because I can tell you I have a vote I can guarantee that said I didn't vote I didn't vote to impeach him. Dead serious. There's a lot of Republicans did nothing. Are you getting a little tired of Ohio's Jim Jordan being one of the few, Matt Gaetz being one of the few to get up there? Don't you wonder and you go, where the hell is my guy? Where? I want to know where they are. Don't you? So when they run for office the next time, they ain't foolish. They say, hey, I'm going to put Trump's name out there on the highway, and you're stupid enough to vote for me. It is what it is, folks. You may not. Good morning. I don't like being like this. I hate it, but I don't. We have the biggest scare of our lives. Have you seen the headlines lately? You better get ready. If things don't turn out like we hope they do, that the president doesn't swoop in and do something in the last minute that we're all hoping and praying that we've read about. If it doesn't happen, even if it doesn't make a difference. We still need to be there so it never happens again. The reason we got here is because we weren't paying attention. Yes, sir, you do it and all by yourself. I can't believe he's not hiring that person. He's hiring this person. The thing is that you tell everybody. You tell everybody. I know you will, Charles. There are some people that will. There's so many things we can do. But we have to ask. I've had people come to me and they go, well, you should have told me. Wow. Nobody told me. I went and asked. I have a friend named Charles Grodicke. He's a councilman in Jefferson County. He has worked his ass up by himself to some extent. He's got a few people to help. And he says, let's get as many people on these boards as we need their help. When you feel like you're the only one out there, you need your help. That's what happens. But what happens? People just, good luck to you. I wish you luck. You know what? I was talking to Wendy, we were driving about something about religion. This kind of reminds me of religion. Now, you're going to wonder, what's this got to do with religion? Now, I believe in politics. Anytime, religion is a personal experience. But some people think they need to bring it out and preach to everybody else. Happens all the time, doesn't it? Although many times those people that preach are not very good at what they preach. So, I remember when I was doing radio in Springfield, one of the comments I made, you people have heard me say this, one of the reasons they have so many churches in Springfield, Missouri, is because of all the hypocrites they have in there. How dare you talk about that? Well, let me give you one of the instances why. We have, I was doing a show trying to help someone. I was doing a funding show, trying to help someone who had some serious issues, and I did that. It wasn't my normal, but I did it. And guess what the Christians came up with? The so-called Christians. What do I call hypocrites? Good day for hypocrites. It's Sunday. Just hear me out. I will pray for them. I will pray for him. I will pray for him. Wow. Let me see. Prayer. Look at my checking account. Look in my cupboard. Damn. Nothing there. But he prayed for you. Here's one of my other favorites. God will provide. Really? What's that mean? God will provide. Does that mean God's going to go to the store? Going to say, hey, Charlie, I know you're having problems. I know you're disabled now and the rest of it. None of your Christian friends are helping, but they've already said God's going to show up at your house someday and he's going to provide. That's what's going to happen. I know it's kind of funny, isn't it, you know? God will provide. One of my other favorite ones. You have these criminals out on the streets. And this is one of the ones that always blew me away. You got a criminal on the street. And I actually heard this once. I was ready to scream. And this person went in and killed 2 kids. And what did I get to hear? It was God's will. It was God's will? They're in a better place. Ask mom if she thinks that at the time. You know, look, I'm just saying this because this is all important. So when people tell me in politics, and you know what my answer to all this is? God gave us a brain, gave us all the things we need to do something. Not sit there and say, go pray for them. You help those people. Not to sit on the side and say, well, we've got leaders. Really? Isn't it our job to take care of our neighbors? And one of the ways you take care of your neighbors is by running for office, by doing things, by not allowing Satan. Yeah, it's Sunday. I might as well preach a little religion here. I'm not preaching religion. I'm preaching spirituality. Have Satan take over? Yeah, Satan's running the Senate right now. Well, don't worry. We'll pray that something happens. Yeah, let's pray. We have a terrible person, Joe Biden. Well, let's pray that he changes his mind. Yeah, just pray. All the religious people, let's all pray. No. God gave us a brain, gave us the gumption to do things. And so that's why I don't talk about this very much. Because people have their, they want to sit there and preach me all the time. Preach me all the time. Well, you really need to go to church. Really? I do more for people than most people on the planet. And I'm not bragging. I really do. No, I don't do certain things that I don't do the food banks and the rest of it. I have issues with food banks even. People go, well, why would you have issues with food banks? Because this is very simple. Now, this is where people, I guess people aren't capable of the big picture. Now, do I want people to have food to eat? Absolutely. But do you know something? I have relatives that I can talk about, and maybe some of them are listening right now. You and I are paying for them. Oh, yes, they gladly get their disability checks, their welfare, their utility census. They get all that stuff. They get their EBT cards. That's the money that we give them for food so they can survive. Isn't that nice of us? But what do they do with that? We give them, the government, your taxpayer money gives them the money so they can survive, so they can have the food they need. When they do it, guess what they do with their EBT cards? As you and I are going to Aldi or these other places where you're watching your penny, they go to the local Quick Trip or whatever, and instead of paying 39 cents a bottle for soda, they buy a 6-pack at $3 a bottle. That's what they do with your money. Or, this is even better. They take your money and they take that card. Say they get a $500 a month grocery card, an EBT card. They sell it. They sell it to somebody that they can use, and they sell it for 50 cents on the dollar. Happens all the time. So that $500 that coming out of your tax money, they go ahead, they get it, They sell to somebody else for $250. They get the money, and then they go out and buy their drugs. Oh, yes. How did they get away with that? Well, they need to do a drug test. When have you seen it happen? You haven't seen it happen, have you? Because the people running the show aren't doing anything about it. And you are gladly sitting by going, you know what? I can complain about this for a while, and I'll feel really good about myself. And then I'll go on. And I'll continue to let these same people get away with everything. That's what it's going to be. So, the beauty of where I came from is that I learned what not to be, what not to do. But I got to learn how they do it. And until we change it, because do you see it changing when you go to Congress? I can't tell you how few real Republicans, the ones in our own state, whatever, throughout the nation, are really in office. They're all a bunch of progressives because they realize, you know why the liberals do it? Because they know you're not going to do anything about it. They're laughing. They're laughing at you going, look at them bitch and moan. We're out here tearing down neighborhoods, and they're going, somebody needs to stop them. Wow. Maybe we can do that in our spare time, Keith. Hey, we got a few people who actually do things here. We'll go ahead and do it because nobody else is doing it. But we need to complain. Where's the complaint department? At the voting box, at the voting booth. But what do? You keep voting back in. You vote them back in, you go, wait a minute. That person helped me one time. I don't care how they vote. They helped me get my veterans benefits. Yeah, that's their job. Isn't it nice? They do their job every once in a while, but they vote different directions, but you're over there praising them because they were nice to me. Oh, I love it. I know that guy's a good guy because he was nice to me. It's really, I would love to say it's amusing, but it really isn't amusing. So, while we're sitting here exchanging, I mean, honestly, I want every person that goes on Facebook, and that's all. And first of all, if that's all you're doing, you better rethink what's going on. You better stop complaining what everyone else is doing and start figuring out that, you know what, I got to do something different. Oh, yeah, that's a good one, Charles. I like that. Yes, they take your money. Now, people go, you can't buy lotto tickets. Really? You really can't? You don't think the stores... Now, here's where it really is hilarious. They buy lotto tickets. Lotto tickets. And they spend $50 of your hard-earned tax money on lotto tickets. How do they do that? Well, some of the stores they go to, they know how to do it. They say, we'll bring up this. That's what we do. It looks like something else, and that's it. And when they go on their EBT card, guess what? It looks like it's steak. By the way, a lot of them eat better than we do already. Yeah, a lot of them do. So they buy it. They get their lotto tickets, and you're paying for it. You remember when Whoopi Goldberg was on welfare for a while? You remember when she won and nobody bothered? Nobody bothered? Wait, let me correct this. What I'm saying, she was on welfare when she became, big and rich and all that stuff. Good for her. She said, "I'm not paying anything back. That's my, they're taking my tax money." Oh, I see. Exactly. They're burning down St. Louis, Portland, Seattle, Chicago, you name it, all the big cities that Republicans have allowed them to take. Hey, take our states, take our schools. And here we're saying, did you see what Joe Biden said yesterday? I'm afraid to go because Antifa may be there. Really? Is that what we're doing? I'm a big, strong guy, but I'm not going there. So, until the people get the guts to get off their asses and do things, I mean, honestly, I would love it if people would say, you know what, where's that damn list? You can go on a lot of times you can go on and just look for one and say, you know what, I'm going to do it. You would make my day. I don't want my work to go for nothing. Otherwise, I feel like a failure. Well, Dave, you're not coaxing us the right way. The only way I can coax most people is to knock on the door, drag your asses out of the house, and that's it. It reminds me of a friend of mine. Her husband, a Republican, so-called, years ago, was on his second year of unemployment. And he was a very good carpenter. And he lost his job with a place that went out of business. He said, I'm going to live on this for a while. This same guy told me he would do anything. He would never live on unemployment. But he decided, I want to take a vacation. And I remember him, this actually happened. I'm not going to say their name, but I remember she's telling me this story. She goes, here I am working 2 jobs, and my husband, who claims to be a Republican, who would never do this, he's sitting on his happy ass doing nothing, enjoying the little bit of money we get for unemployment. She goes, it finally hit the wall, shit hit the fan, as they say, pardon me, I had to say it the way it goes, is when he is sitting there watching Jeopardy or something. I'm leaving one job. I stopped by home for another job, and she's walking in, and he said, honey, are you going to make dinner before you leave? Whoa! I'm surprised he's still alive. Because he wouldn't get off his ass and do anything. And what did he do? He did what a lot of people do. Well, the unemployment's almost up. I guess I'll go ahead and get up and get a job finally. This is a Republican. Yes. I don't get it. So, we're just going to sit back and wait until somebody like me comes in here and you're going to say, well, Dave, here, you know what? That's a great way of looking at it. So here I am working all these jobs, and I come in and say, hey, everybody. And you go, hey, I found another job for you. Why don't you go ahead and do this, and I'll sit back, and I'll go back and send stuff back and forth. That's so much fun. Oh, God, it makes me feel good. I don't even have to get off my fat ass to do it. I can do anything I want. When we finally, and I'm really frustrated, I love these people, but it's taken way too long. When we finally get Republicans' financial part together and we put it out there, there's a lot of people out there right now that are getting stimulus checks, and their income has not been affected. The way they're pushing these stimulus checks out there is insane. And you know what's really sad is I can't tell you how many Republicans say, well, I paid it in, that's it. Do you realize how do you say you love your kids and grandkids and great-grandkids or whatever. How do you look at your kids and grandkids and say, have I got a bill for you? Really? Not only that, but now because of our inaction, we are going to allow the leftists to take over. Oh, no, Trump's going to save us. Could be. But then what? But you know what, Nikki? He would have been slapped with a frying pan. Who can I hit with a frying pan? When people come to me, this is what happens to me. Dead serious. Well, Dave, I don't see your name on the ballot. My name's been on the ballot, and I'm doing everything else. Who's going to do this job? And you don't know if my name's going to be on the ballot, and it shouldn't be a concern of yours. Your concern should be, where do I put my name? Because right now, when you come to me and you go, hey, you would really do well at this, you would really do well at that. And I'm thinking, you're getting more jobs? Thank you so much. I feel like my friend's wife that came home and got hit with the fact of, what are you going to make me for dinner? That's how it feels for me. That's how it feels for a lot of people that do what I do. I can't tell you how many people in office are sitting there right now standing and applauding, because I know they are. If they're watching this show, they're going, you know, Dave, you're kind of harsh in how you do it, but man, you're right. I know the wives of some of these politicians and the husbands of some of these politicians. They're not politicians, they're statesmen. Let me get that correct, but let's just call them whatever. I know a lot of them saying that my husband or my wife has to work that much harder because there's no one else to help. Yeah. I always love it when conservatives say they're not lazy, because I am the first to look at you right now and say, when it comes to your patriotism, it's just a tag. It's just a tag. Patriotism is not a feeling. It's not just a feeling. Because you know what? If you can look in the mirror, honestly, if you can look in the mirror and say, I've done everything I can to help my country, if you really can do that, you're either the biggest hypocrite or you're really doing something. That's really where it stands. And those of us that have worked really hard, and you know, as I told you, I'm not a big kudos person. I'm not. When people say that, I really do. I look at them and say, I appreciate that, but can you help us, please? Can you help us? Because we don't have what we need. We need bodies. You know, we're looking at the army of the left. And by the way, 74 million people voted for this president. How many people are doing more than just voting? Yes, a lot of them can't. They physically can't. But you know what? Most of them won't. And that's the problem. I really don't understand. I really, I know people get upset with me. And like I said, if you really think that upsets me, it doesn't. I really don't care. Because I have a job to do, and I'm going to do my job. You know, when I was coach of my kids' baseball team or hockey team, they used to come me bitching and moaning just like a lot of people do. And, you know, well, I want to pitch. And I go, you throw like a girl. You're not doing anything to improve yourself. You're just on the team. You're not doing anything. And I made those kids do something to get better. And when I put kids out on the field, you know what? I'm over here spending my time with a website that I'm clueless on. I'm doing my best. And if you're on a laptop or, you know, it's okay. If you're on a phone, I tried it the other day, I was like, my God, it's awful. Because it's not my expertise. Where are these millions of people, there's thousands of people coming to me and say, Dave, I know how to do that real well. I'd be glad to take over for it. Or at least help you and show you how to do it where it's easier. But when I have to learn this on my own, plus all the other stuff I do, and then people come to me, you know, all these other jobs I got, and people come to me and go, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Do you people understand the frustration I have? Do you understand the frustration so many, you know, there's something I could do that most politicians cannot do. And they're glad I do it. Because if they show their frustration, then you're not going to like them. And you're going to go, well, I don't like the way they treated me. If that statesman looks at you and says, you know, it'd really be nice if you could help, then you may get mad and say, well, I just want to vote for you. I don't want to do anything. Trust me on this. They're walking away. Exactly. When you get any stimulus money at this point, it needs to go to a conservative cause or capitalism venture or local small business or restaurant. Oh, you know what they'll do, Keith? You know what they'll do? You know, I have to tell you something. Someone close to me got a stimulus check and gave a nice chunk of it to a candidate that she believed in. I was so proud. Yeah, if you're in Jefferson County, you know what? If you're in Jefferson County, go to the Republican Club meeting at the, what's it called now? It used to be Ponderosa. It's at Richardson and Jeffco. Go there. Go there. But that's for starters. That's for starters. And by the way, there's a lot of rhinos that go there. That's why I don't honestly. I go sometimes because God knows I have all these things I don't have. I've got time for. So but I can't do everything. See, that's just it. People go, why aren't you going here? Why don't you go there? Why don't you go in here? And I'm saying, give me more hours in the day. I'll be glad to do more. I'll be glad to do more. But frankly, it's not about how many hours I put in. It's how many hours other people put in. How the dedication is. That's where it all stands. So I make no apologies for what I've said on this show. None. No apologies whatsoever. Because I believe wholeheartedly, if you love your state, if you really love your president, as you said, then you're not just going to stand behind him and just say, yeah, I'll vote for you. Yeah, I'm with you all the way. Yeah, way to go. He needs your help. He doesn't need your help just sitting around passing crap back and forth. And here's something else. I want to tell you, all right, people get really tough on Facebook. And then they complain, but it's like, Facebook took me off. Facebook is not your friend. It's your enemy. So I'm going to make a suggestion to all my Facebook friends. Stop thinking that you're going to change the world by going back and forth and saying tough stuff on Facebook. Every once in a while I'm off. You know why I got off? You know why they kicked me off for 3 days? And it was my fault because I should know better. Because I said we need to take, since Mitt Romney was voting to impeach the president, I said we need to pick his sorry ass up and throw him in the Potomac River. Well, that got me in trouble, and I shouldn't have said it. You know why? Because I knew I should have known that they were going to do it. So instead of, I'm not mad at Facebook. I'm mad at me because I have to work within their parameters right now. I want this show out there. I'm going to work within the parameters. But until something else comes along, that's it. So if so get over yourself. If you think you're going on Facebook and say something really, and I have good friends, I love them to death, but they get on Facebook and they think they're going to scold, somebody's going to make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. Get on there and just say the least you can. The whole point, what we need to do now with Facebook is use it for what we can use it for, realizing that they're going to stop us from doing things until we get something else. Hey, I got an idea. Work at helping at something else. Instead of sending all this really neat stuff that makes you feel good, work at helping at everything else. That's what you need to do. And by the way we help businesses, the way we help everything is not just by going to the business, because don't look for excuses not to help the real Republicans, because helping the real Republicans is helping ourselves. So I want to make sure people know that. We don't want everybody giving all the stimulus money to us. It's not giving it. We want people to monthly do it. So we have people that we can depend on to help us with our causes. Do you realize, and I've been through this before, that if we get the people involved as we know we can do, that we can actually improve we can maybe have our own media with so many things we can do if we pool our money together. The liberals do it. I know people that don't have a lot of money. They give liberal causes, and guess what? Honest to God, who is winning right now? Well, Keith, I'll be at your next meeting for sure. There's no doubt about that. The reason I didn't go to your last one because I was still in Florida. So I will be there. There's no doubt. And by the way, if you are from another county, at least within reason from my area, Jefferson County, St. Louis area, I will be more than happy to go there. I'll be more than happy to explain to everybody what we're trying to do so they can understand what we're trying to accomplish. Because this is important, it really is. Because we're trying to improve and we're trying to get people, and I want to say something about Keith here. Keith is a gem. He's been helping tremendously, and he and I have a lot in common. We get frustrated at all the people that go on Real Republicans, and they think their duty is to put on all kinds of cute stuff on there. Do you know how excited I would be? I look at it and I get mad. I do. I get mad just like he does. It's like, Wow. We're becoming another group that doesn't do a damn thing. Because all they're doing is they're getting on there and say, hey, I can post this, I can post that. Don't be surprised if most of these posts aren't going through, because if you think, I mean, we're gonna have to change anything. And by the way, Keith, I want you to look at the questions that I just put in there. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and read the questions we now have on Real Republicans, because I want people to understand this is where we are, because I don't want to ever have to go through this again. We got 8 pending posts right now. People can't wait to post something. You know what I'd love to hear? I want a pending post says, I am running for this. I am running for that. I'm being a hard ass. I really don't care. Membership questions. You ready for this? Do you believe that voter fraud is a serious problem? That's question number 1. Keith, I don't know if you've seen this. I changed the questions. Question number 2. By the way, I deleted a couple people that said no. I said, are you willing to give your time and or money or even put your name on the ballot? Yes or no? People said no. Guess what? We don't need you. We don't need do-nothings. Do you like the idea of replacing the current Republican Party with real Republicans? I've had people say no to that. Well, you're not, you know what? That's why I deleted you. So if you try to get on there, and by the way, here's something else, and Keith and I have talked about. If you try to get on Real Republicans and we cannot trace who you are, and you show that you just joined the other day, you're not getting on. We don't need any more spies than we're going to have already. And we will. And if we see somebody that's not doing the right thing, you're out of there. That's it. We're not going to put up with it. Look, this is a serious group. We're not here to have fun stuff. That's not what we're here for. If that's what you want, you need to go somewhere else. There's all kinds of places to do it. You can go have fun on somebody else's. If that's what you want to do, it's your prerogative. You're welcome to do it. But I don't have the patience for it, and frankly, I really don't want to deal with it. So my favorite one was that I added, are you willing to give your time and or money or even put your name on the ballot? And if you aren't, then what's the point? I mean, what are you there for? Why are you there? Because real Republicans are there to be real. They're a phony Republican. You know what? You may be a Trump supporter, but you are a phony Republican when you sit on your dead ass and don't do anything. You are. It's in name only because you're only in name only. Now, look, I understand there's a few that really and truly that can't do anything. I get that. But you know what? If you work hard at trying to convince me why you can't, then I'm not going to be too nice to you. It's funny. I do have an attitude, and I'm going to tell you a little story about how I am. Many years ago, I had an appliance delivery business, and I delivered for one of the big appliance chains in St. Louis area. I had their account, and they had a gentleman. It was brothers. In fact, I'll even mention it. It was Slyman Brothers, and if you've never heard them, then you know. But I used to warehouse their stuff, deliver all their stuff and all that. And one of the brothers' sons, I'm not going to mention his name, did not want to be a salesman. So he asked to work for me in the summertime because he did something the other time. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want to do anything. But he didn't do that. So anyway, he and I worked together, and we got along great. And by the way, I was the owner of the business. I went out, just like I do with this stuff. I went out because I don't expect anybody to do something I won't do. I went out every day because I loved working out with the people. I loved it. It was great. I love moving appliances. And believe me, I had it down to a science. Anything I do is down to a science. So he worked for me one summer, and I worked his ass. Oh, God, I worked this kid to death. And he wasn't a kid. I guess he was in his early 20s or something like that. So he worked that summer, and we were friends after that, but didn't get to see each other very much. I moved to Springfield for a few years and stuff. Well, anyway, his father died. And when his father died, I'm bringing this story up for a reason. When his father died, my son and I went to the funeral home to visit, and all these sons were there, the ones that I knew, because I knew them all. We went places sometimes. And the one guy looks at me, and it'd been like 25 years probably, at least. No, a lot more than that. Oh, God, 40? I mean, a long time. But anyway, he looks at me, he says, "You look familiar." And I'm smiling, and I knew who he was because they all look alike to me. And, I mean, their family, the Slime family, all look alike. They're Lebanese. So anyway, he looks at me. Finally, he says, "Dave Day, the slave driver." And I laughed. He looked at the people around him, and he says, and a lot of them knew me anyway, but he said, "I want to tell you something about this guy. This guy taught me how to work. He taught me," I mean, the guy, and by the way, he was a worker. The guy was actually a champion wrestler. He wasn't a big guy, and that was something else. He wasn't a big guy. He was like 5'6" or something like that. But he was a champion wrestler. One of the best workers I've worked with, by the way. But I remember him looking at me, and he told these people around, he said, "This guy taught me how to work." He said, he was a slave driver, but man, I'll tell you what, he showed me how to do it, what to do, everything I need to do, and he's the man. And actually, when I was doing that with Slyman, I used to get people, the Slyman brothers always said, have him go to my friends' houses or parents' houses. He's the guy that does it the best. And I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you, that's how I operate in my life. So I'm not going to be any different with real Republicans. And if I see people just laxing along saying, "Hey, it's just another website." Keith and I have already talked about it. You're out of there. We don't need people just to hang around and do stuff back and forth. Ask what you can do. We're really going to start looking for that. And I know if you notice, Keith, when I put a couple posts up yesterday in there, did you notice they were ignored? That's when I get really pissed off. I really do. I get really pissed off. And I was furious last night. I was last night. I was wanting to say, you know what, the hell with it. If you people don't want to do anything, I'm going to just start deleting people. I want people to say, "Dave, what can I do? What can I do?" Because they're not doing it. And there might not be anything you can do. And we want you to start a chapter where you are. Maybe you can't do it by yourself. Get other people. In little time I've done it, that we've done this, I've got people down in Springfield. I haven't been down there in a while. But I have people down in Springfield that are saying, "What can I do?" And so we're going to start a chapter down there. I lived down there for years, so I know a few people. But my insurance man called me and said, "Dave, I want to do something." And so we're trying to get the group together so they can do something. Those are the things we need to do. So, if you get deleted, don't get mad at me. Get mad at yourself, because we expect people to do things. And if you can't, at least say, "You know what? My friend Charles there, he said, I'm on the mend. That's why I get that. We get to, we get old like Charles and and a lot of us, you get older, things happen. I get it. But something, he wants to do something. He wants to do something. And that's where we have to change. So, my friends, this is a Sunday show. I'm not going to spend all morning doing this. I'm not going to apologize for my attitude today. I love everybody. I do love everybody. But I really get disappointed. And I'll be honest with you. I really will tell you right now. I don't handle disappointment very well. There's two things I don't do well, and I will let you know right now. I don't handle disappointment well. I really don't. And I can't stand lazy. I grew up in welfare. My mom and dad, my parents. They weren't even parents. They were baby. They were producing babies. That's how they were. And I'm telling you right now, I've worked to be where I am. I've lost things. It doesn't make a difference. Just like Trump. Just because something didn't work out, I didn't stop. I didn't say, well, I'm done. I just picked myself up and said, I'll do it again. Do it again. And I get up and do it. Yes. People are acclimated to posting conspiracy theory videos and lame-ass memes, all to respond to it. You know what? And you know what? We don't know what's going to happen. We really don't know what's going to happen. But we're going to, you know what's going on, Keith? We're going to sit around and wait. Because we're waiting. Here's what you're waiting for. You're waiting for someone to save your sorry asses. That's what you're waiting to do. If that's you and you're waiting and you're saying, I'm not going to do anything until this happens. In the meantime, oh, man, if I wouldn't have waited, I would have gone ahead and put my name on there. Really? You mean you thought Trump was going to take care of your school board? Really? Probably. You know why? Because you're doing the exact same thing the left is doing. Did you know Trump is responsible for every negative thing that's gone on in our country? He is, according to the left. And I guess Trump is responsible for the school boards. Trump is responsible for your local politicians. Trump is responsible for people like this who want to name highways after somebody so they can get your vote, which they probably will. I want to prove that wrong. You know what I want in this next election? For people to work their asses off to get new people elected, totally change things around, and not have people like this get elected because they put a name on a highway. If that excites you, then you really need to find somewhere else to go. I mean, it's like, I didn't look at that and go, wow, that's great. Wow, that made my day. She needs to be voted for. If you had that feeling, you really need to rethink where you are right now. But Dave, don't you want his name on the highway? I couldn't give a rat's ass. His name's on the highway, but he's not in office. Republican welfare. That's exact. Republicans are probably the biggest recipient of political welfare there is. They really are. I invented the term political welfare. I invented that. I've never heard anybody else do it. And I'm going to take credit for it. Do you know how many people, if you look at my definition of political welfare, and that fits you, you better rethink what you're doing and say, what can I do next? That's exactly what you need to do. Because right now, we're losing. Do I need to go through the headlines? Let me bring up a couple headlines real quick. Let me bring up a couple headlines of what you are allowing to happen. But I'm going to blame it on the liberals. No, I'm blaming it on us. Remember when Trump got out of the Paris Climate Accord? It was a joke. Paris Climate Accord's a joke. You ready for that? Biden wants to get back in. Biden wants to mandate masks. Hey, I sat around and I said, Trump, do your thing. Didn't do anything else. Got a bunch of phony-ass Republicans in office. You're reelected. Open borders. Remember that beautiful wall that's up there? What are you going to do the day when they start knocking it down? What are you going to do? You going to get upset? Oh my God, that just bothers me so much. You know what I'm going to do? I'm so mad. I'm going to get on Facebook and pass all kinds of stuff. That's what Republicans do when they get mad. They get on Facebook. But they get on MeWe. They get on Gab. They're mad because Parler's gone. I'm mad as hell about that. I'm going to get on another one. Are you getting on anything else? Are you getting on school boards? No, but I'm on MeWe. What? Really? Charles, I hope you're right. But you know what? I don't wait for other people's actions. I wait for mine. I really do. I wait for mine. And someday I'm going to get so frustrated. I am. I'm letting you know right now because I'm almost there. I'm going to get so frustrated that I'm going to quit. I'm going to say, it's up to you guys. I'll leave it up to Keith, whatever. I'll just say I resign because I see too many sorry-ass Republicans sitting on their asses, and they're going back and forth, and this is all they do. Jack Dorsey of Twitter pretty much said, screw conservatives, you're out of here. Yeah, peace, climate accord will take over one of these days. That's what it's all about. But that's okay. We were busy doing other things. It's due through our inaction. Everybody watching this show now, I want to just leave it at this because I'm going to leave in a couple minutes here before I just start destroying the screens. Everyone watching this show right now needs to stop and say, what can I do? And ask, what can I do? Make it something you can learn to do, something whatever. Everyone watching this show right now needs to stop making excuses. Everyone watching this show right now better understand that the reason, and if you don't do this, if you blame this on liberals, then you are part of the problem. I got to be honest with you. I have blamed this on conservatives for a long time. I blame it on conservatives because we've elected knuckleheads over and over. Over and over. I've run campaigns and when it's time to get money for a campaign, conservatives say, well, are you kidding me? I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I got Cardinal tickets. I got tickets. I got season tickets. Cardinal. That's more important to me. I don't care about that until it matters. And then when that person that should have got elected doesn't get elected, you're the first one on Facebook bitching and moaning, going back and forth. Wasn't this a fun show? I mean, really, wasn't it a fun show? I don't like this. Sometimes when these shows are done, I really do. Sometimes when these shows are done, because my heart's in this, I have to go through an hour of depression because I'm watching my fellow human beings, my fellow so-called conservatives, do nothing. It breaks my heart. You know, the very people, and you know, I get these people that make excuses all the time. And you know what? If I would have, this is because of my own life. If I would have made excuses my whole life, I would be like the deadbeat people in my family, in my relatives, I should say. Prison, welfare, whatever they're living on. That's where I would have been. But any time that I failed, and we all fail. That's why I said, don't get upset today and say, well, I'm not, I've already screwed up. No, you start today. Today is your new day. Because you know what? I had to do it more than once. Got divorced, had to pick myself up and look at my bank account and say, well, that was close. Get back up and go to town. That's what you do. But if you just let that rule your life, if I was to let, something happen and ruin my life, I'd be living on welfare the rest of my life. I'd be doing something else. And I got to tell you something. The hours aren't bad. The hours aren't bad. And Keith, we're going to work on that soon. We will talk. When why is it Keith's on the health board? Now you may go, it's no big. It is a big deal. Every position, if you're in Jefferson County, I guarantee you, or other counties, we have liberals running the health boards, and they're shutting things down because they have the ability to do it. You're thinking now about the fact the health board looks important. But, Keith has to, well, Keith, we want you to run. God bless you, Keith, for running. I'll be glad to, here you go. This is my favorite one, Keith. I'll be glad to take a sign. Yes, I live 30 miles away. I know you have all the time in the world, no big deal, and I'm not doing anything or whatever, but I know you're paying for the sign, but, why don't you bring one to me and I will allow you to put it in your yard. Do you know how many people did that with me? And I just went ahead and went through it, and I thought one of these days I'm going to change that. If you really want somebody, you really want that person there, and you really say you're a dedicated Republican, hey, Keith, I know that sign probably cost you a good $20, $30. Here, I want to make sure, $10, whatever it is. Here's $30, help you with your campaign. I get that occasionally. I do. I get it occasionally. But no, most of the time it's called, yes, I will give you the honor of putting your sign in my yard. Don't put it in the way over here. Don't do this. But please do it. And you can pay for it. That's okay. I know you're a rich man. And the reason we're doing Real Republicans is to change that. So we can change that to where when Keith is willing to go ahead and run for this position. And it may not seem, there's all kinds of positions out there available. But we're willing to change that. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to change the focus of the established Republicans. They just want your money, and they say, just stay out of it. You don't need to do anything. They don't want you to run. Maybe that's, you know what? Maybe that's why you like established Republicans. Yes, health board is huge now. I got all kinds of people run for health board, but here in our county, 2022 is when they run. But I just figured out, Keith, that's why they like established Republicans. Established Republicans, they can do what they do best. They can sit back, they can bitch and moan, they can play on Facebook, go back and forth, and they don't have to do anything because they don't even care if they do anything. They go rally and once in a while and say, oh God, he sounds so good. I love it when people go up there and they go, did you hear what he told us? Did you hear what he told us? I think I like that guy. Well, he was in it before. Do you know how he voted? I don't care. I just like his attitude. Here's what I was going to stop a few minutes ago. Here's the real definition or the interpretation of a political speech. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for showing up. You are my favorite people. Whatever you want. Now, this is what they say necessarily. This is what they really mean. Whatever you want, I will promise you I will do it. Doesn't make a difference. I'll go ahead and say, yes, that's a great idea. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. Because I want your vote. Whatever you do, you don't even have to look at my voting record. Because I will, whatever it is, because I know you're not going to look at it anyway. That's what I'm going to do. So whatever you do, vote for me. Remember, this is what I did. I passed legislation to put President Trump's rename this part of Highway 55 after your favorite president. I did that. I did it on my own, yeah. I know how much you people loved our president. Oh, I loved him too. I voted for Obama, but I loved you too. I loved him too. I thought Trump was a great president for my coattails. Meaning that whoever it is, that's it. If you're in Northern Jefferson County, you're in real Republican. If you're in Jefferson County, you're in Jefferson County. Charles, send me your. I think I got your number. We'll talk about it, okay? But let me continue my speech because I think everybody needs to learn this. So when you see my name on the ballot, just remember the things I told you I did. Just don't pay attention to my voting record. I voted for mail-in vote. I'm not going to, don't even ask about those things. It's really not important. What's most important to you are the things that are going to get your vote. That's right. I know that if I rename this part of the highway President Trump Highway, which be trash for the next year, but we'll blame that on liberals. But I will even introduce legislation to have a special cleanup crew. Yes, it's extra money, but I'm doing that for you with your money. But I'm doing that for you. So we will go ahead and we will make sure we rename that, and that's all you need to know. Any other things? I'll figure out all the cool. Oh, by the way, the day after they passed the mask mandate in Jefferson County, which was illegal and it was going to go anyway. I'm not going to tell you that part. I proposed doing something. That's all it took. It was already over. I didn't tell you that. I proposed doing something. That's all it took. But you don't need to know that because I was on your side when the publicity was there. Yes. I knew how fooled you were when I went on Facebook, because you love Facebook. You love that. And you even spread it around that I did something that I really didn't do, but I'm not going to tell you that part. Yes, that's what I did. What else did I do? Let me see. I'm not going to tell you I voted for Obama. What else am I? Now, there's a lot of things I've done. I'm not going to tell you because it's really not important because I renamed the highway. That's all you need to know. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? I guess I'll go to 10 o'clock. What the hell? That's what we're doing. We are listening to political rhetoric, and that's what we're doing. Now, some people, I really like that person. Why? Their job is to be nice to you. My God, how many votes are going to get if they're not nice to you? It's what they do. I want to see what they're doing by bills. And like I said, don't be fooled by the votes. You have to investigate. You know, that's why the whole job of what we're trying to accomplish is there. It really is. Fox News. You know, this is where conservatives think they're tough. I stopped watching Fox News. I'm a patriot. I now watch AON. Do you do anything? Don't ask me that. But I don't watch Fox News anymore. See? I'm a patriot. I showed up for the... How would you like your service people to do that? I showed up for the war in my house. I was there. Yeah. I watched it on TV. I was with you guys all the way. Thank you so much for... And it's too bad a few of you people lost your lives. But I was with you all the way. I was praying for you. I was praying for you guys. I was praying for you because I knew that would really help. That's where we are, my friends. Is that really where we want to be? So I hope I pissed off enough people to where you're really looking down. Every person watching this show today needs to look deep down and say, what can I do? They need to get a hold of me, Charlie. Go on. You know what? I asked people to do this, and they still haven't done. I asked people to look in your county and see what positions are open and post it on there. Let me know. Yes, it's 2 times. You know what? If you spend a few minutes doing that instead of passing back and forth the same damn thing I get 1,000 times on my messenger, I probably get 500 messages a day. And what gets me is I have to weed through all the garbage to get something that's important, because most of it is just a repeat of everything else. That's what it is, and I get tired of it. I really do. It's like it takes that much more of my time. It's, you know what it reminds me to go through emails. I get more garbage email. I know what to do. By the way, tomorrow's show, I'm going to read some. I get mail. Guess what? I get email from the Democrats all the time. I'm going to make that a focus on tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's show will be 7 in the morning, just in case you want to know. You know, it's weird. Nobody even bothered to call. I guess nobody's going to call and bitch and moan at me. It's almost over. And by the way, Keith left us messages there. So, in the Arnold area. By the way, we will be having a Republicans meeting in Arnold area. Keith, I want you to know this. We need to talk because I actually we're getting ready to set up a meeting. So I want to talk to you about that. It's going to be very quick. So we're going to hopefully get everything taken care of pretty quickly. And when we do, we do. That's what we're going to do. So we'll talk. We got to get this together because it's, I took 2 weeks off and I had to, man. A week and a half off. I had to. You can get burnout from this stuff. It doesn't matter. You know why you get burnout? You get burnout because you're the only one doing the work, or you feel like it. And it does burn you out. It really does. I think the frustration and the burnout just is so much that sometimes you got to get away. And I know Keith understood that. Keith's like, man, I know you needed a break. You know what I got from other people? Where are you? I feel like they're daddy. It was funny. When I was thinking about today's show, I thought, you know what? I feel like I'm going to play dad today. Yeah, I'm old enough to be some people's dad, that's for sure. Not you, Charles. You're an old fart. You're even older than me. But I did. I felt like I was going to be a daddy slapping kids around and saying, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. So, by the way, my heading up there, are you still waiting for a hero? You know where the hero is? Do you know where the hero really is? Yeah, you can say Trump. If you want to know who the hero really can be, go in the bathroom or your bedroom, whatever, and take a look in that mirror. Because you can be the hero. We need a lot of heroes. Just because, and I've said this about heroes. Just because a cop has a uniform on does not make him a hero. Just because a military man has a uniform on does not make them a hero. And just because you say you're a conservative or a Republican or whatever, a patriot, just because you say it does not make you a hero. I don't consider myself a hero. Some people do. I appreciate that. I want other heroes. If I'm a hero, I want more. Because I don't think what I've done is hero. I really don't. I work hard at this show. I work hard at what I do. And, whatever. If that's what you want, I haven't, to me, the hero has been cheapened so much. So if you're a conservative, you're a Republican, whatever, and you think you're you can look in the mirror and say, I've done everything I can, and you really haven't, then I can't look in the mirror with you. Because there's certain people out there that they the one thing I've noticed is when I bring that out sometimes is when people get defensive. This is a technique I use all the time. When they get defensive, I know the guilt is there. I know it. I use that all the time, by the way. I use it because people self-identify. The smart ones, at least the smart ones, they look at that and they go, I think it's a trap. And it is. So, all right, guys, I'm gone. I got to go. I'm out of here. I've said enough crap. I haven't taken a break. I'm working on some new things. And, new things. That's where I am. I'm working. So today I'll be working. I might be old, but if President Trump needed me, you know what, Charles? You can't do it, but you could do it in our army. You know what? The army isn't. We're in Trump's army. And you can join us and help us in so many ways. You're a smart man. There's things that we can do. And just stay in touch. So, all right, everybody. Let me get everything ready so I can get out of here. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. Anyway, thanks for listening. And I'll be back on at 7 in the morning tomorrow. If you couldn't stand me today, I'll be just as deplorable as tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow.